Welcome back to Digging Little Iron. We've added a Kawasaki Mule 2510 to our excavation company, and we took it out on a dig last weekend and realized that once we fill up that bed, it's pretty hard to dump without some kind of electro-hydraulic assist on it. It actually took two people. So I went ahead and ordered this kit from Extreme Metal Products. This is the Kawasaki Mule electro-hydraulic dump bed kit, part number 12971. This is a company out of Ohio. We live in Kentucky, so it actually didn't take it very long to get here. I ordered it right at the end of last week. They had it filled over the weekend, and it got here on Tuesday. So really just a couple days from the time we ordered it until the time it showed up. So this video, we're going to unbox it. If interested in ordering a kit like this, you can at least see what comes in the box. And then I'll do a separate video where we install it on our Kawasaki Mule. And then we'll do a third video if you're interested on the performance of it. Alright, so when it arrives, according to the scale, it weighs about 22 pounds, 24 pounds, something like that. I've just got a cheap scale on it. Shouldn't be too heavy for most people to pick up. Alright, so to open it, it's got staples. You can probably pull them by hand. Use a tool if you need to. Let's see what we got. Alright. Not a whole lot of protection here for this to rattle around, so hopefully there's nothing damaged. First you got a wiring harness. It's got a dump switch on it. It's got relays. Place to hook up power. This looks like for your battery. Power and ground to your battery. Not sure what this is. I'll have to read the directions on that. That looks kind of factory. And then this will be your dump switch. This was one of the reasons I actually bought this kit. You can find these electro-hydraulic components out on the internet, but I really didn't know how long I needed this to be to make the bed dump. And the fact that I really didn't want to create this from scratch. So that's why I went ahead and bought this kit. So you got your electro-hydraulic component. Part number on it. Let's see if it tells me where it's made. Mini motion package. Motor, 12 volt, 30-second rating, made in Vietnam. Read manual carefully before working on this product. Do not dismantle, repair, or modify this product. Do not throw into the fire, nor heat up this product. Well, we'll try to keep the mule out of the fire. KYB Manufacturing. It's pretty heavy. Looks pretty heavy duty. We got mounting brackets. Mounting hardware, I should say. It looks like there's a pin in there, a couple pins. That must be for mounting the cylinder to the bracket. What else have we got? This will be a bracket for the frame. Looks like there's another bracket inside of all that, feels like. We'll open that one. Alright, that's it. So, I'm just going to give this a quick look and make sure there's no damage. Since there wasn't any styrofoam or really a whole lot of padding to keep this from banging around in there. It all feels good. I don't see any major issues. So that's nice. Let's open this and see what's inside here. Wasn't any damage to the paint till I just did that right there. Overall, that looks pretty good. It's going to go down like so, I believe. This will go into the bed. So this will bolt up to the top of the bed. With the cylinder, oh, I'd say something about like that. And it'll go up like that. Okay. Easy enough. Now let's take a look at what's inside this bag of parts. Alright, we got the manual from Extreme Metal Products that tells us what's in the kit. We got all that, we've got that, that all came here. Looks like we've got all these parts. As a matter of fact, there's actually more parts in this bag than is on the picture. We've got extra zip ties. Let's lay this out. We've got zip ties here that are not in the picture. Got a decal. That'll be nice. We'll put that on somewhere. We do have these, oh, they almost look like exhaust clamps. If you ever worked on exhaust piping on a car. Got some of those. Looks like 4 of them. Attention, read before proceeding. Inspect the products for damage. Yep, we're doing that. Good. Alright, we've got those. We got, so these are not in the picture. These must be the pins that go down through the top of the cylinder. 2 of those. We've got some electric clamps that you clamp down over wires, power wires and such. I will not be using those. I'm not clamping into the wires that are on the Kawasaki Mule. I don't like these. If I have to, I'll redo the wiring a different way. We've got the cotter pins that go with those clamps right there. We've got hardware for, I don't know what those are for. Let's see what else we got in here. That's these bolts right here. Let's see, we've got some self-starting bolts. Not a huge fan of those, but I get it. Those are maybe for going through the bed. That's what I'm guessing. Let me see here. Probably for going through that right there. When you bolt it up to the bed, those are probably the bed bolts. That makes sense. So you got 5 self-tapping bolts, and then you got a couple small bolts and a couple of big bolts, and we've got all kinds of nuts. Those fit there. And we've got some extra washers. Those washers probably go on these right here, be my guess. Washers. 2 sets of those. We've got extra. They gave us some extra parts, it looks like, which is kind of nice if you lose a bolt or something, or sometimes it's nice to have a few extra parts. I'd say we got 4 extra nuts that I don't really know where those go. I don't see any extra bolts in there, so that just looks like extra hardware. And it looks like there's some extra lock nuts here also that I don't see them going to anything in particular. So that's what's in the bag. Should be plenty to put it on. It's a pretty good kit. Okay, let's look at the instructions. So you've got your first page of the instructions. You've got recommended tools. You've got tools required to do the job. You've got hardware. Next page, you've got bed mount instructions, frame mount instructions, wiring harness instructions. Looks like you have to drill some holes in the bed to go ahead and put that bracket in. And you've got a few extra pictures to help here where the bracket goes down on the frame, where to mount the relays, where to drill a hole in the dash and mount the up-down button. And let's see, just a few reference pictures of where the wiring harness runs through the floor to get the wiring harness up to the dash. That's it. So, not a ton of instructions, but it looks straightforward enough. And that's it. Pretty basic kit. So, if you want to see this installed, I'll shoot another video here in a couple days when I actually start putting all this on, kind of document how it goes on. Again, we're going to be using a Kawasaki Mule 2510 from about 1995, which is not what's advertised for this particular product. This was for a little bit newer Kawasaki Mule, but I think it's going to be close enough. Okay, I'm going to say one more thing about this kit before we put it on. As I was putting it all back in the box, I got to thinking about this wiring harness a little bit more. And what is not in the kit that I wish they would have put in the kit is a way to mount this wiring harness solid to the Kawasaki Mule frame. Okay, so what I'm talking about is having like a clamp that clamps over this, and then you would run a screw down through the clamp, and you could actually hold this thing, hold this wiring harness in place, because it's going to be bouncing around the mule, and the wires are enclosed in this casing, which will help, but you know, mounting this casing to the frame, because they didn't include the proper like clamps, you know, we're gonna have to zip tie it, which is not, I mean, it works. It's not the right way to do it. If you go look at a piece of heavy equipment like a Caterpillar tractor, what you're gonna see is that all the wiring harnesses are clamped and secured so they can't move around. You'll see the same thing with hydraulics and those kinds of things. So that is not in the kit. That's a little bit disappointing. The kit was pretty expensive. I paid $810 and got a discount on it. So I'm a little disappointed they don't have a few dollars worth of clips to hold this down to the frame. I'm just going to have to create that. The other thing that I see on here are these relays. These relays are manufactured in China. That's not a surprise. A lot of our components in the States now come from China. But something I do like, and I hope you can see this on the video, let me hold it way up there like that, is you've got a little pictograph of how the relay actually works. If you understand electricity, this is really helpful, because this little pictograph, if these were to ever break, I could take these in to, you know, Napa Auto Parts or something like that, and see if I could find a replacement relay from, you know, a company that manufactures maybe here in the States, and potentially get maybe a little higher quality relay. And these may be high quality. I've never heard of this company before. You know, I'd be a little more comfortable like AC Delco or something like that. That is just a little more common here. But anyway, I'm glad they have that little picto on there. That's actually a big positive. Also, as I was kind of looking this kit over, this dump switch is pretty nice. It returns to center. So, you know, up, take the bed up, and then when you let off, it's going to stop. And then when you pull down, it's going to return itself to center and stop. I thought that was kind of nice, that it's not like a up or down kind of a thing. It's a 3-position here where it auto returns to the center. That's a really nice feature. Who makes this? Carling, it says. So anyway, I've never heard of that company, but hopefully it'll be a good quality switch. I can't see where it's made. Now it's made in Mexico, right there on the side. So the switch was made in Mexico. Relays come from China. Not a very complicated wiring harness. Doesn't look like it's that many wires. So the only other thing I would have liked to have seen in this kit is just a little bit more padding. There was, you know, a little bit of this kind of crumply construction paper, whatever you want to call it, in there. But for the most part, those components really could kind of bounce around. So again, this kit didn't make a real long journey from Ohio to Kentucky. But if this was going across the country, you know, with some of the rough transportation it could get with today's packing companies, I think there's certainly the danger of having components that would be pretty bashed up. The cylinder would be my biggest fear, or maybe if that wiring harness got crushed or something like that, because it got bounced around a lot. It'd be nice if this company would have spent a little bit more time packaging the inside of this box to better protect it for shipping. and I didn't see any big, scars on the box. But again, it didn't go that far to get here, so hopefully not a whole lot of chances for it to get damaged for me. But if you guys order it and you're gonna order it from a really long way away, you're out in California, New York, or Florida, or something like that. Really look it over, because they didn't put a lot of time in trying to package it for safety inside the box.